Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. India records maximum COVID-19 recoveries in single day. Recovery rate improves to over 70%. Over 1 lakh loans sanctioned under PM Swanidhi scheme. 4 Maoists killed in an encounter in Sukma district in Chhattisgarh. International Youth Day is being celebrated today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu urges people across the world to be more active change agents. Festival of Janmashtami being celebrated across the country. And in Sri Lanka, new cabinet sworn in under Mahida Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister. The country has reported the highest ever single-day COVID-19 recoveries of over 56,000 patients in the last 24 hours. Health Ministry today said that 16,39,599 people have recovered till date. India's rate of recovery has also improved to over 70%. The ministry said active COVID-19 cases in the country stands at 6,43,948. It said single-day spike of 60,963 COVID-19 cases has taken the virus caseload to over 23,29,000. In the last 24 hours, 834 deaths pushed the death toll to 46,091. An expert committee under the chairmanship of Niti Aayog member Dr. V.K. Paul is meeting today to consider the logistics and ethical aspects of procuring and administering the COVID-19 vaccine. Health Ministry said the Committee on Vaccine Administration will engage with all the stakeholders, including state governments and vaccine manufacturers. The committee would chalk out strategies on the aspects of prioritization of the vaccine administration once it is developed, rolled out, and cold chain logistics and training of the people who would be administering it. ICMR had said that the Phase 1 human clinical trials of the 2 COVID-19 vaccine candidates developed indigenously by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research and Zydus Cadila Limited have been completed and the trials have moved to Phase 2. The Serum Institute of India, Pune, has also been permitted for conducting Phase 2 and 3 human clinical trials of the Oxford University-developed COVID-19 vaccine candidate in the country.
A microwave device named Atulya, which can disinfect premises in just 30 seconds, disintegrating COVID-19 virus, was unveiled by Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Nitin Gadkari in Nagpur today. Certified by the Defence Research and Development Organization (DRDO) and based on French and American standards, the device is 100% made in India and has been manufactured under the aegis of the MSME. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
This Atulya microwave-like device can be used to disinfect any premises up to 5 meters area besides surface areas, home and office furniture, beds, new boxes and even contents of the boxes. This equipment can be hand-handled as its weight is mere 3 kilograms. The device disintegrates the COVID-19 virus with the help of differential heating in the range of 56 to 60 degrees Celsius temperature. The positive thing about this device is it is 100% safe for humans and does not emit any UV rays for disinfection that could be harmful to the human body. Depending upon the size and shape of the objects, the disinfection time is from 30 seconds to up to 1 minute. Sonali Ghadiyar Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
India hockey team captain Manpreet Singh and 5 other hockey players who were found COVID positive and were then isolated in the National Centre of Excellence in Bengaluru have now been shifted to the Super Speciality Hospital for better medical care. After the admission of teammate Mandeep Singh to the hospital on Monday, it was decided to shift all other players to the hospital as a precautionary measure. Captain Manpreet Singh, Jaskaran Singh, Surinder Kumar, Varun Kumar and Krishan B. Pathak were shifted to the hospital yesterday. The statement issued by the Sports Authority of India says that all the 6 players are in good health and recovering well. It is said that the decision to shift all the COVID-positive players from the national camp at the National Center of Excellence to the hospital was taken to provide them the best possible treatment.
In Telangana, the total number of COVID-19 cases has reached 84,544, with 1,897 positive cases reported during the last 24 hours. 1,920 more people recovered from COVID-19, taking the recovery rate to 72.49%. With this, over 61,000 people recovered from COVID-19 so far in the state. 9 more people succumbed to the disease yesterday, taking the total toll to 654. In Mizoram, 25 more COVID-19 positive cases were found in the last 24 hours. With this, the total number of cases has risen to 648 in the state. According to the official statement, 323 patients have been discharged post-recovery from the infections, while 325 patients are undergoing treatment. The district administration of Aizawl has imposed a complete lockdown in 2 city areas, namely Dorpui and Mission Wing, as a preventive measure. Also, the state is facing shortage of fuel as many oil tankers are stranded after an area between Hongkoi Thlir and Sethon on Aizawl Bypass Road was declared a containment zone. Due to this, the state government has capped the quantity of fuel for daily buying according to the type of vehicle.
In Mizoram, the legislator Z.R. Thiamsanga, who is a doctor by profession, set an ideal instance of humanitarian service by performing an emergency caesarean to a woman delivering a baby while he was on a visit to village people. The incident happened in Champai North near the Indo-Myanmar international border. The 38-year-old woman, C. Lalmangai Sanghi of Ngur village in Champai district, was in critical state of delivery pain, which made her and all closed ones anxious, because the sole doctor in the nearby hospital was reportedly on leave. A report.
Dr. Thiamsanga was visiting the area on Monday to take stock of the situation in COVID-19 pandemic and also to assess the damages caused by the recently occurred series of earthquakes in the area. Soon as the news appeared before him, Dr. Thiamsanga rushed to the Champhai hospital and performed the emergency caesarean, and the operation was successful. He said that the woman and her baby are presently safe and sound. He said that he did it as a responsibility to help the needy, which is one of his top priorities. A specialist doctor in gynecology, Dr. Thiamsanga retired in 2018 and presently he is the Vice Chairman of the State Health and Family Welfare Board. Earlier in June, Dr. Thiamsanga walked about 7 kilometers in the forest and treated a sick policeman who was guarding the Mizoram-Myanmar border. Shubhashish Chandu, AIR News, Aizawl.
In our series Experts Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, member health in Niti Aayog, Dr. V.K. Paul urged everyone to follow social distancing in order to break chain the transmission.
अपने बुजुर्गों को ख्याल रखना, अलग रखना, दूरी बनानी, लेकिन सोशली उनको, इमोशनली उनको दूर नहीं करना और इसी तरह से जो दूरी बनानी है अपने कोवर्कर के साथ में, जहां हम जा रहे हैं, जहां हम खड़े हो रहे हैं, लाइन में खड़े हो रहे हैं, शॉप पे हैं, वर्क प्लेस पे हैं, बहुत जरूरी है। और साथ साथ मैं ये भी याद दिलाऊंगा कि हमें बार बार अपने हाथ भी धोने हैं या हैंड को सैनिटाइज करना है।
Dr. Sanjay Pandey of Gobind Ballabh Pant Hospital, Delhi, spoke about the use of masks, saying it is important to wear them while stepping out of home.
There is no treatment right now for coronavirus. It's very important to maintain the social distancing and the isolation. There are different guidelines and the WHO says that person should be wearing mask. There is no doubt about that.
In Rajasthan, 55,482 people have been infected by novel coronavirus so far, out of which 40,558 people have recovered from the infection. In all, 821 people have died due to COVID-19 infection in the state so far, out of which maximum 220 deaths have been reported in Jaipur. 595 positive cases have been reported in the state this morning. Highest 115 people tested positive in Bikaner. 107 cases have reported from Dholpur, while 96 persons found positive in Jodhpur. Total of 17,84,000 samples have been tested in the state.
Government has rejected the claim of a newspaper that the centre is going to permit opening of schools from 1st September to 14th November in a phased manner. In a tweet, Press Information Bureau (PIB) has termed the news as fake. It clarified that no such decision has been taken by the government.
The number of loans sanctioned under the PM Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi PM Swanidhi scheme has crossed 1 lakh. The number of applications received under the scheme has crossed the 5 lakh mark within 41 days of commencement of the lending process. The PM Swanidhi scheme has generated considerable enthusiasm among the street vendors who have been looking for access to affordable working capital credit for restarting their businesses post-COVID-19 lockdown. The scheme was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs under the ambit of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It aims at facilitating collateral-free working capital loans up to 10,000 rupees of 1-year tenure to about 50 lakh street vendors in the urban areas, including those from the surrounding peri-urban rural areas. Incentives in the form of interest subsidy at 7% per annum on regular repayment of loan, cashback up to 1,200 rupees per annum on undertaking prescribed digital transactions, and eligibility for enhanced next tranche of loan have also been provided. PM Swanidhi scheme envisages bringing banks at the doorsteps of those nano-entrepreneurs by engaging the non-banking financial companies NBFCs and the microfinance institutions as lending institutions. This is in addition to the scheduled commercial banks, public and private, regional rural banks, cooperative banks and SHG banks. The onboarding of the vendors on digital payment platforms is a very important component to build the credit profile of the vendors to help them become part of the formal urban economy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the platform for transparent taxation honouring the honest through video conferencing tomorrow. The Central Board of Direct Taxes (CBDT) has carried out several major tax reforms in direct taxes in the recent years. Last year, the corporate tax rates were reduced from 30% to 22%, and for new manufacturing units, the rates were reduced to 15%. Dividend distribution tax was also abolished. The focus of the tax reforms has been on reduction in tax rates and on simplification of direct tax laws. Several initiatives have been taken by the CBDT for bringing in efficiency and transparency in the functioning of the IT department. This includes bringing more transparency in official communication through the newly introduced Document Identification Number, DIN, wherein every communication of the department would carry a computer-generated unique document identification number. Similarly, to increase the ease of compliance for taxpayers, the IT department has moved forward with pre-filing of income tax returns to make compliance more convenient for individual taxpayers. Compliance norms for startups have also been simplified. With a view to provide resolution of pending tax disputes, the IT department also brought out the Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Act 2020, under which declarations for settling disputes are being filed currently. To effectively reduce taxpayers' grievances and litigations, the monetary thresholds for filing of departmental appeals in various appellate courts have been raised. Several measures have been taken to promote digital transactions and electronic modes of repayment. The upcoming launch of the platform for transparent taxation honouring the honest by the Prime Minister will further carry forward the journey of direct tax reforms.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India records maximum COVID-19 recoveries in single day. Recovery rate improves to over 70%. Over 1 lakh loans sanctioned under PM Swanidhi scheme. 4 Maoists killed in an encounter in Sukma district in Chhattisgarh. International Youth Day is being celebrated today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu urges people across the world to be more active change agents. Festival of Janmashtami being celebrated across the country, and in Sri Lanka, new cabinet sworn in under Mahinda Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Today is International Youth Day. The day gives an opportunity to celebrate and mainstream young people's voices, actions and initiatives, as well as their meaningful, universal and equitable engagement. In 1999, the United Nations General Assembly endorsed the recommendation made by the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth that 12th August will be declared the International Youth Day. The theme of this year is Youth Engagement for Global Action. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has urged young people across the world to be active change agents in building a more equitable and sustainable world. He appealed to youth in India to be at the forefront of eradicating various social evils like caste and gender discrimination.
On this occasion, I call upon the youth to take inspiration from the lives of Sri Subhash Chandra Bose and strive towards building a new India, a strong, stable, prosperous and egalitarian India.
Home Minister Amit Shah has conveyed his greetings on the International Youth Day. In a series of tweets, Mr. Shah said the greatest strength and asset of any nation is its youth. India is truly blessed to have a youth power filled with tremendous ambitions and skills. Mr. Shah said he is sure that youth will continue to strive towards Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of a new India. Home Minister said skilled and enthused youth have the power to make the best of the opportunities on their way. He added that Narendra Modi government, with its decisions like Skill India, Startup India, Make in India and the new education policy, has been constantly creating an ecosystem to unlock the immense potential of the youth. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar said the day offers a chance to raise awareness of the need to ensure the engagement and participation of the youth.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that sacrifices of freedom fighters from across the country must be highlighted in textbooks. Speaking after releasing the book Netaji, India's Independence and British Archives in New Delhi today, the Vice President stressed on the need for providing a comprehensive and objective account of the historical events. Referring to International Youth Day today, the Vice President called upon the youth to take inspiration from the life of Netaji and strive towards building a new India. He said COVID-19 has also underlined the urgency for countries like India to build a resilient economy by becoming truly self-reliant. He said the need of the hour is to give a major push to the Atmanirbhar campaign by all the stakeholders, including the private sector and the academia, through research. The Home Minister's medals for excellence in investigation for 2020 have been awarded to 121 police personnel. This medal was constituted in 2018 with the objective to promote high professional standards of investigation of crime and to recognize such excellence in investigation by investigating officers. Among the personnel receiving these awards, 15 are from Central Bureau of Investigation, 10 each are from Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra Police, 8 are from Uttar Pradesh Police and 7 each are from Kerala and West Bengal Police. The remaining are from the other states and UTs. These include 21 women police officers.
In Chhattisgarh, 4 Maoists were killed in an encounter with security forces in Sukma district today. The gun battle took place in the jungles of Jagargunda area when a joint team of Central Reserve Police Force and District Reserve Guard was carrying out a search operation on the basis of an intelligence input. After the exchange of fire, security personnel recovered 4 arms from the spot. In Karnataka, 5 people including 3 children and 2 women were charred to death when a private bus caught fire in the early morning today. Many passengers have sustained burn injuries. The police sources informed that the incident took place when the bus was parked on the roadside at KR Halli Gate in Hiriur Taluk of Chitradurg district. The bus was on its way from Vijaypura to Bengaluru. The injured have been shifted to a district government hospital in Hiriur, and the police has registered an FIR to take up further investigation. The festival of Janmashtami, which marks the birth of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated in different parts of the country today. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted the people on the occasion. In a tweet, President said, Lord Krishna's message of Karma Yoga is a call to focus on our responsibilities rather than caring for rewards. He said this spirit has been evident in the working of all our Corona warriors. He hoped that Lord Krishna will bless everyone with good health and prosperity. In a tweet, the Vice President said, "The tales of the young Krishna's mischiefs and his heroic acts have captivated our collective imagination since time immemorial." He said the eternal message of performing our duties sincerely without attachment to results, elaborated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, has been a source of inspiration for the entire humanity. He added, Janmashtami, which is usually celebrated across the country with great fervour and gaiety, would have to be celebrated in a modest manner this year due to COVID-19. On this auspicious day, the Vice President called upon everyone to perform our duties faithfully and to seek the path of righteousness. He hoped that the festival will bring peace, harmony and prosperity to everyone. In Uttar Pradesh, Janmashtami is being celebrated with all the rituals at Mathura, birthplace of Lord Krishna, and Vrindavan. The devotees will now not be allowed entry to the temples due to the ongoing pandemic. However, arrangements have been made to live stream the puja for the devotees. Our correspondent has more details.
Rhymes and slogans on the birth of Lord Krishna are reverberating entire Mathura city and adjoining areas. Although devotees from outside of Mathura will not be allowed to enter the city, and devotees from various countries are also not here on this auspicious day due to Corona pandemic. But that could not deter people of Mathura to celebrate the birthday of Lord Krishna in a grand manner. At Krishna Janmabhoomi, Mangala Aarti was performed in the early morning at Bhagvat Bhavan temple, and Thakurji was in new clothes. Secretary of the Sri Krishna Janma Seva Sansthan, Kapil Sharma told AIR that all rituals will be performed in traditional way and a special decoration is being done at Bhagvat Bhavan. All temples in Mathura, Vrindavan, Gokul, Nandagram, Govardhan and Barsana are adorned with flowers and beautiful lighting. With Muhammad Umar Qureshi in Mathura, this is Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Krishna Janmashtami, the birth of Lord Krishna, is being celebrated virtually in Gujarat today. Our correspondent reports that the famous Lord Dwarkadhish temple and Ranchhod Rai Ji temple in Dakor are closed for devotees due to the ongoing pandemic. More from our correspondent.
Where lakhs of devotees visited during the Krishna Janmashtami festival every year, the Lord Dwarkadhish temple in Devbhoomi Dwarka district is closed today. To avoid the mass gathering on the occasion of Krishna Janmashtami, the temple authorities have decided to close the temple for 3 days. Similarly, the Ranchhod Raiji temple in Dakor is also closed. However, both the temples have made special arrangements for darshan, puja and celebrations of Krishna Janmotsav through online mode. Sri Dwarkadhish temple will also telecast Krishna Janmotsav celebrations live at 12 midnight through television channels. Other temples in the state, including ISKCON Temple, Hare Krishna Temple and Sola Bhagwat Vidyapith in Ahmedabad and Samlaji Temple in Aravali district, are also closed for devotees. State government has already banned traditional fairs and melas being organized on the occasion of Krishna Janmashtami. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
In Maharashtra, the widely popular Dahi Handi festival in Mumbai is a low-key affair this time owing to the pandemic. While most of the big organizers of the festival, which is held to mark Krishna Janmashtami, preferred to cancel the celebrations this year, the housing societies organized their own mini Dahi Handis with just 2 tiers. Others opted for day-long virtual celebrations in the form of Maha-Aartis, chanting of mantras, havans and religious discourses, showing them online on the temple website, Facebook and YouTube channels. Many temple authorities appealed to people not to throng the temples. Instead, visit the temple website or see Facebook Live for darshan of Lord Krishna and the celebrations. The famous ISKCON Temple and Radha Gopinath Temple at Girgaon Chowpatty in Mumbai are organizing kathas and kirtans to mark the festival.
The festival of Janmashtami is also being celebrated in Bangladesh. The festival is somewhat muted this year due to the outbreak of corona pandemic in the country. All the religious rituals and programs are being held inside the temples with health guidelines in place. President Abdul Hamid and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina greeted the Hindu community on the occasion of the Janmashtami festival. In the United States, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden has named Indian origin Senator Kamala Harris as his vice presidential running mate. Kamala Harris is currently the U.S. Senator from California. Former U.S. President Barack Obama has often described her as a trailblazer. If elected, Kamala Harris would be the first ever woman to be the Vice President of the United States and the first ever Indian American and African Vice President of the country. Daughter of an Indian mother and a Jamaican father, Harris has known many firsts. She has been a county district attorney, the district attorney for San Francisco, the first woman and first African American and Indian origin to be elected to the position. She was also the first female African American and Indian origin to become California's Attorney General. Harris became the first Indian origin and second African American woman to join the Senate, winning the California seat vacated by Senator Barbara Boxer. Leading Indian American groups across the U.S. have lauded the selection of Kamala Harris as the vice presidential candidate, saying it was a moment of pride and celebration for the entire community in America. In Sri Lanka, the swearing-in ceremony of the new cabinet and the state ministers was held today, with a 28-member cabinet being administered the oath of office by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Dinesh Gunawardene will continue as the foreign minister of the country, as well as several other ministers from the previous cabinet. President Rajapaksa kept the defence ministry with him, while his elder brother and Prime Minister Mahida Rajapaksa retained the finance and urban development. Mahida's son, Namal, became the youngest member in the cabinet with the sports portfolio. Another member of the Rajapaksa family, Chamal Rajapaksa, took oath as the irrigation minister with the charge for State Minister for Internal Security. The new cabinet took over in the wake of the general elections held last Wednesday. The Rajapaksa party received a landslide victory with two-thirds majority. Mahida Rajapaksa was sworn in as the Prime Minister on Sunday. A total of 39 state ministers also took oath. Today's cabinet swearing-in ceremony took place at the historic audience hall of the Sri Dalda Maligaon in Kandy.
Back home in Bihar, flood situation remains grim in the flood-affected areas of the state. Rain in catchment areas of various rivers in North Bihar aggravated the situation. Over 75 lakh people spread over 16 districts are reeling under the impact of flood. The worst situation is in Darbhanga district, where over 20 lakh people have been affected by floods. The other districts where the situation is grim are Muzaffarpur, East Champaran, Saran and Samastipur. Darbhanga-Samastipur section of East Central Railway remained suspended. Long route trains are running on alternate routes. 43 people have lost their lives in flood-related incidents. 33 teams of NDRF and SDRF are carrying out relief and rescue operations. Over 5,60,000 people have been evacuated so far. About 15,000 people have taken shelter in relief camps. In all, 1,204 community kitchen centers have been set up to provide food to affected people, and about 10 lakh people are taking food at the centers. Now let us take a look at today's weather update. In the national capital Delhi, minimum temperature was recorded at 27 degrees Celsius, while maximum temperature is expected to be around 32 degrees with generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. The minimum temperature was 26 and maximum will be around 30. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky and the minimum temperature was 26 and maximum is expected to be around 34. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Onto the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 26 in Jammu, while maximum will be around 34. The city will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. In Srinagar, mainly clear sky will become partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. In Gilgit, the minimum temperature was 18 and maximum is expected to be around 36. Muzaffarabad will see a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India records maximum COVID-19 recoveries in single day. Recovery rate improves to over 70%. Over 1 lakh loans sanctioned under PM Swanidhi scheme. 4 Maoists killed in an encounter in Sukma district in Chhattisgarh. International Youth Day is being celebrated today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu urges people across the world to be more active change agents. Festival of Janmashtami being celebrated across the country, and in Sri Lanka, new cabinet sworn in under Mahida Rajapaksa as the Prime Minister. And with that, we end the Midday News.